All right, starting off with the first fight, comes to us from UFC 150 in Denver, Colorado, taking place August 11th, 2012. A middleweight bout between Rousimar Palhares and Yushin Okami. Now, we'll start off with Luca first. Luca, a competitive bout. Both guys, I think, kind of desperately need a win here. I'm going to open up Okami as a decent favorite. Not huge, but minus 220 is the opener. Comeback on Palhares is going to be plus 170. Give me your thoughts and give me your bet.
I got to go with Okami here. I just think this is a really bad style matchup for Rousimar. I mean, if he can't get the fight to the ground, he's at a definitive striking disadvantage, and I don't think he's going to be able to get the fight to the ground. Okami is one of the better wrestlers in the middleweight division. Palhares doesn't have much of a wrestling game, although kind of his backup plan for that has been diving for heel hooks, but I don't think that's going to work on Okami either. Okami has never been submitted. He has excellent submission defense, and I also have a lot of questions about Rousimar Palhares' heart. We've seen in times in fights he'll get hit and he'll just kind of fold and give up. We saw that in the Alan Belcher fight. We saw that in the Nate Marquardt fight. So I think he's going to try to get the fight to the ground. It's not going to work. Okami's going to land some good strikes on the feet, particularly a straight left. I think Rousimar is going to probably just kind of curl up in a ball, and Okami's actually going to get a finish here. I know a lot of people think of him as kind of a boring fighter. He doesn't get a lot of finishes, but I actually think he will end up stopping this fight some way through maybe the second or third round here. So I like Okami pretty confidently here.
Okay, so Luca is going to go with the slight favorite in Okami. It's going to be $1,100 to win $500. Now let's throw it over to Larry. Larry, do you agree or disagree with Luca?
Yeah, I completely agree. Listen, the fact that Okami has never been submitted, he has been in with some high-level grapplers like Dean Lister at UFC 92. Lister really never came close to submitting him. And everyone I talk to who fights Okami talks about just how huge this guy is when they get in the cage with him and how strong he is. Well, everybody but Anderson Silva. He is coming off of 2 losses in a row. That puts an additional pressure on him. You certainly don't want to get 3 losses in a row in the UFC because sometimes that means a pink slip. And I agree with Luca about Palhares. I was a big Palhares fan, still am, but he's just such a wild card. There's fights he goes in and he looks phenomenal. But when it starts to go against him, he's a bit of a front runner. If he's not the hammer, he doesn't do very well from coming back from being the nail. And I think he's going to be the nail a lot in this fight against Yushin Okami. Big guy, tough to take down. On the feet, it's a mismatch. And I think an ultra-motivated Okami who's been training wrestling with Chael Sonnen for quite some time now is not going to be easy for Palhares to get to the ground, and not on the ground. This fight's a mismatch. So I like Okami a lot at this number.
Okay, so minus 220, not a problem for both of our guests today. So Larry's also going to take $1,100 to win $500 on the favorite here, and we'll see how this event turns out again. It takes place at UFC 150.